Hello and welcome to Galata Plus. In this episode, we're going to be talking about Abhijith Joseph's John Luther starring Jayasurya as a cop. It's strange how two films released the same week are so similar and yet so different. Rajiv Ravi's Kuttavam Shiksham is about cops investigating a case. Broadly speaking, that is exactly what John Luther is about too. What differs is the approach. Rajiv Ravi dives deep in with a ton of procedural detail, while Abhijith Joseph is content to stay on the surface and deliver simple twists and simple thrills. Of course, there is no right or wrong approach to a subject. I was just surprised that at this coincidence between the two films taken together, they would make an excellent demonstration of a mainstream and a hero-centric way of looking at things versus a slightly offbeat but more holistic way of looking at things. Kuttavam Shiksham is the better movie, at least for me, while John Luther is probably going to be the better audience pleaser. The film is set in the Beautiful Munnar area, and in a nice bit of writing, we witness an accident that we think will form the basis of the story. But the director, who also wrote the screenplay, has other ideas. None of these can be revealed, obviously, because this is a thriller. So let's look at the protagonist, the cop played by Jayasurya. When we first see him, he is being treated for a wound. Now, how did he get that wound? There is no answer, because there is no need for an answer. His line of work is going to result in several such wounds. This is just one of those wounds. This wound does not need a backstory. One of the nicer touches in John Luther is that cops work on many cases at the same time. So one case impacts Jayasurya in one way, which in turn impacts the way he handles a second case, which goes back to the accident at the beginning of the movie. The cleverest touch is something that happens to Jayasurya, something that hinders his job, that hampers his job, the way he functions. There's a terrific hero moment when Jayasurya digests this news, this thing that has happened to him from the doctor, and we go back to his introduction scene with the wound. This is just another wound for him. Jayasurya is wonderful at conveying resolve. There is not an iota of sadness or self-pity. The work must go on. This is a part of his mental makeup, and that's the part his upper-class family hates. He is never there for family functions. He is an absentee son. He is an absentee husband. All this should result in an emotional wallop, but these scenes are among the weakest in the movie. They are filled with cliches. There isn't one novel idea about the family. Plus, the family angle disappears entirely after a point, so it would have made no difference if the Jayasurya character had remained single or an orphan or whatever. I suppose they wanted some sentimental scenes, but surely this could have been done or achieved in more organic ways without reducing the intensity of a thriller. After all, we discovered that this film also has a psycho killer and a major twist. The writing in this last part, that is the psycho killer part, is worse than the writing in the family scenes. It all happens quickly and very unconvincingly in the last half hour, and the film really falls apart. The team gets a lead. The lead gives them the entire flashback, the entire motivation of the killer, everything. There's a twist. All of this is so devoid of character development that there's nothing we can do but wait for the inevitable conclusion. By the end, we have a film with some decent ideas, but the writing doesn't know how to push them forward in an interesting manner. Even Jayasurya's latest wound doesn't render him as vulnerable as it should, or as I would have liked it to. John Luther is an easy watch, but it doesn't have that uneasy feeling in the pit of the stomach that you get from a really good thriller. So that's it about John Luther. If you like this video, do subscribe to Galata Plus and see you soon at the movies.